House Farmers Market, and you purchased a turkey this year from our turkey kit program, and I'm going to show you how to prepare it. We're going to do it in an old-fashioned way, the way Grandma would have made it. So very simple, not a lot of ingredients to do that. The very first thing that you need to do is you need to turn your oven on to 325 degrees. Now my oven sometimes doesn't gauge correctly, so if you need to check your thermometer, the temperature, have an external thermometer that you can hang in there to make sure, because this is poultry, you want to get it up to the right temperature. So get your oven heating up. Oh, take that bottom rack so that it's on its lower setting, because you're going to put a big cooker in there for this turkey. So we're going to let that heat up. The next thing that we're going to do is you're going to get your turkey out of the refrigerator. You're going to unwrap it and you're going to rinse it with cool water. I've already rinsed mine here in the sink. And so now the only thing, I'm letting it kind of drain. I'm going to pat it dry with some paper towels here in just a minute. So we're going to let that sit for just a moment. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to spray our pan. Now you're going to get all the ingredients here that you see. You're not going to get the spray, so you can put Crisco on your pan or you can spray it with your favorite spray. I'm just going to lightly spray my pan so that it doesn't get too crusty in the whole baking cycle. All right? The next thing that we're going to do, we're going to make some stock. Now, later, after you've cooked your turkey, you're going to save your bones because I'm going to show you how to make proper stock. But in your kit, you're getting what all you need to make stock right now. Now, if you've got a big bowl like mine, you're gonna add enough water to make 1.5 quarts of stock. This stock is what you're going to use for your entire Thanksgiving dinner. We're just gonna start with the turkey. So it's actually about 7 cups of water. You're gonna put a little bit in, you're gonna put all of the mix in the pan, in your bowl, I'm sorry. You're gonna put a little bit in there, and you're gonna just get that mixed up real good. Easier to mix up when there's just a little bit in the bowl to begin with. So whip that up real good. And then you're going to add the rest of your water. And since mine has a mark, I'm just going to bring it up to this 1.5 mark right there. Now we're using chicken stock for this purpose here today. But afterwards, like I said, hopefully you ordered the stock kit with all the herbs and the instructions on how to make stock. And we'll have a little video to show you that. So now we've got our stock prepared, and this is what's going to be used for the entire Thanksgiving dinner. All right, so now we're ready to put the turkey in the pan. I'm going to let this dry a little bit. It's already been thoroughly rinsed out. We've got all these fantastic giblets here, and we're going to put them in the pan. Some people like to wrap them in tin foil. I don't. I like to put them right in the pan. I want them to absorb all the juices that this fantastic turkey is going to produce. Always have a little trash can here by your workstation so you don't have to touch anything while you're working. And I think this little dude's probably about as dry as we need it to be. One more here. All right. All right, so we're gonna put them in here, breast up. Okay, you want your breast side up on the turkey. All right, so now give my hands a good wash. I put a little soap right in the sink already so that I can make sure my hands are nice and clean before I start mixing some additional things. All right, so now in your kit you had butter. You had this fantastic butter from Westby, and you're gonna let it sit out so that it's soft. I've already cut some of mine up. You're gonna take 1/4 of this block. You're gonna cut it into fourths. 1/4 of it's gonna go into a bowl. That's what you're gonna be spreading here. You're gonna have received salt and pepper. You're gonna put a little bit of that pepper in the bowl, a little bit of the salt in the bowl. Set this aside. We're gonna mix this together. So now you don't have to touch all your raw ingredients. It's all mixed together. And basically, we're just gonna start buttering this bird. We wanna butter it really good, everywhere. We're gonna spread it everywhere on the outside. You can put a little butter on the inside in the various crevices. Sometimes, if you want to spread the skin, you can stick a little butter inside of some of the skin pockets. It just helps to keep it really moist as it's cooking. You can see I put little pockets of butter inside of there. You just keep doing this until you use up all this butter that you've softened. Really put it all over all of the drumsticks and the wings. You're gonna get some that's gonna fall into the pan. That's all good. Now you're going to need to gauge the time that you cook your turkey based on its weight. This particular one weighs 15 pounds, so it's going to take about 4.5 hours to 5.5 hours to cook. You want that internal temperature of your turkey to end up about 185 degrees or higher. So now I'm going to take some of my salt and pepper. I'm going to really rub it all over the external skin. You can see because with that butter on there, it sticks nicely. Get all the legs, put a little bit on the inside. This is what's gonna make just that yummy crust that you remember from Grandma's turkey. All right, so now we're done here. And I'm gonna wash my hands again, and we're gonna make our little tinfoil tent. All right. We're going to make a tinfoil tent that's actually going to go right over the bird itself. This is how we're going to cook the bird once it goes in the oven. You can put a lid over it. If you like to use your cooker's lid, that's going to seal all the steam in. You're going to get a lot of juice off this turkey, and you won't have to baste it. But if you're going to do it the old-fashioned way, you just put a tent of tinfoil over the top of it, and it's going to cook with this tent on until about the last half hour. Then you're going to take it off, and then that's all going to brown really nicely. If you put your lid on, you're going to do the same thing, except you're never going to have to baste this turkey. You're just going to take the lid off for the last half hour of cooking to get that top nice and brown. Now I'm going to put this tent on before it goes in the oven, but remember we made this great stock here, and our stock has a little bit of parsley in it, and we're not going to pour it over the turkey. We're actually going to pour about, this is a 1/2 cup measure that I've got here. We're going to actually put about 1.5 cups in the bottom of the pan. Now this is going to cook off, which is fine. So as you go through here, every half hour you're going to want to baste your turkey. And if these juices have evaporated, you're going to add a little bit more of your stock through the entire baking process. And then at the end of this, you're going to have some fabulous juices on the bottom to make your gravy. So let's put it in the oven. Oven's nice and hot. We're going to pop it in there. Every half hour, I'm going to come in there. I'm going to use my baster. I'm going to pull a little of that juice up, put it over the top of the turkey, get those drumsticks hit, and then set this aside, add a little stock if I need it. 4.5 hours from now, we're going to have a delicious turkey. Enjoy.